Hey everybody, Lightning Spirit 78 here. Welcome back to some more of Let's Play Pokemon Leaf Green. In the last episode, we got through Viridian Forest and got to Pewter City. And like I said, off screen I would be doing a lot of stuff. As you just saw, I evolved a bunch of Pokemon, I caught a bunch of Pokemon. And yeah, it was kind of annoying. Metapod and Kakuna took like 2 hours to evolve. It wasn't fun. And I raised them from Caterpies and Weedles, so it's not like they only knew Harden and I had to keep switching out. I don't know why I did that. As you can see, we now own 12 Pokemon, so that's quite nice. Now you're probably wondering, why are we out on Route 22? Well, it's simple. Here's an optional boss fight. And it is with Blue. You're out to the Pokemon League, forget about it. You probably don't have any badges, do you? Well, we're gonna fix that in this episode, you little twerp. Guard won't let you through without any badges. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? And he's going to test to see if they got any stronger. He starts out with Pidgey here at level 9. Pretty easy if you have an electric type like Pikachu. If you chose Bulbasaur, be weary because not only does he have a Pidgey, which knows flying type attacks, which are super effective against your grass type Bulbasaur, but he also has his Charmander with his fire attacks, which is super effective against Bulbasaur. So I recommend picking up a Spearow or a Pikachu or something that can handle those two. However, if you picked any other starter like Charmander or Squirtle, it's pretty average. I'm gonna Thunder Wave this thing just till I can get in some cheap shots on it. Like that. Would have been really nice if a new quick attack. Yeah, Thunder Shock, will you too much? No. But all it seems to know is Tackle, so I'm actually going to switch out here to Squirt and see what I can do here. I think it has Vine Whip. The sidebars will show you if it does, so if it does, I'm a complete idiot, but I have it paralyzed, so it being paralyzed every once in a while is really helpful. Wow. Paralyzed, if you don't know, is a status ailment. What it does is that it halves your speed, so obviously you're slower than other Pokemon, and about 50% of the time, it'll prevent you from attacking. It'll say you're paralyzed and unable to attack, so you can't move. It's quite a nasty little status ailment, so, which is why I'm kind of glad I have it on my side. Oh, hi, you just lucked out. I said, he just lucked out, but he didn't. I heard the Pokemon League is crawling with tough trainers. Yeah, they all have Pokemon in about the level 50s and 60s. Not somewhere we could go at the moment. Anyway, now that that's done, I'm gonna cut back and meet you guys in Pewter City. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, we didn't exactly get to explore Pewter City much in the last episode. There's not really much to check out here, but this guy brings up a good point. Did we check out the museum? No, we didn't. Well, guess what? Oh, Peace is escorting us to the museum. Okay, well, I guess this is a little quicker. It's a museum. You have to pay to get in, but it's quite nice to look at. So, yeah. It's only a $50 or 50 Poké-Dollar admission fee. Wow, I have, like, no money. Lovely. But if you come in here, you can see some pretty cool, things. There's this old dude. I should be grateful for my long life. Never did I think I would see the bones of a dragon. And by bones of a dragon, he means bones of a rock-flying type Aerodactyl. But yeah, you can see some, ancient Pokemon, which we won't be seeing for quite a while. Kabutops is primitive and rare. It's another fossil Pokemon. Here we have a spaceship. Space shuttle. In the original red and blue versions, I believe it said Space Shuttle Columbia. However, after the events of the Space Shuttle Columbia exploding in, I believe, 2003, that was taken out in this version, I guess out of respect to those who lost their lives in that disaster. Here you see a meteorite that fell on Mount Moon. It is thought to be a moonstone. We'll be getting into that in a while. Mount Moon, I mean. July 20th, 1969. Humankind first set foot on the moon that day. I bought a color TV just so I could watch that news. And if my readings were correct, they broadcasted that in black and white anyway. So he bought a color TV for nothing. Of course, if I'm wrong about that, then I'm the one that looks like an idiot, and I'll put an annotation saying that I am indeed an idiot. I'm thinking that there's a hidden rare candy here somewhere. No? Nowhere? Really? I could have sworn there was a hidden rare candy here. Oh well. We actually will be back to the museum later for something, but we don't have the power to take care of that something for quite a while. This is a rock-type gym, however. This is our first gym battle. Most rock types at this point in the game are rock-ground, and ground types are completely immune to electric-type attacks. Electric-type attacks won't even do a thing to them. So Pikachu is out for this fight. However, Squirt, being a water type, has a super effective attack on both ground and water, and that kid's like, ground and water. On ground and rock, and that kid's like, you're a million light years from seeing Brock. So he starts out with the Geodude, pretty easy. As long as you have a water or grass type. And considering we have Bubble, it's gonna do a lot of damage. Oh, wow, I'm actually surprised I didn't one-hit KO it. These guys are very, very defensive, so do not go at them with attacks like Tackle. Even Mankey and Charmander might have some problems here, because all their attacks are physical, and Geodudes have high physical defense, while their special defense is barely existent. And our water and grass type attacks are special attacks. Sandshrew. This thing's a pure ground type. So, if you have a Pikachu like I do, don't send it out. I'm actually not even sure if I can one-hit KO this thing. No, wow. It's gonna take like 3 hits. Thank you! I thank you so much! Okay, that should get it out of the surviving range, and Bubble should be able to kill it. Come on, kill it. Aw, really? Really now? Well, that was lovely. Okay, Bubble! And you're dead. Thank you, come again, and you are dead. No idea where I was going with that. Wasn't trying to insult anybody or anything. Just a random thought that came to my mind. Ooh, water gun. This will most certainly one-hit KO everything. Which are all we could use for the defense. Bubble was pathetically weak, so I'm gonna go with water gun over Bubble. Normally I would say forget withdrawal and go for an all-out offensive with Bubble and water gun, but I don't really see the point of using Bubble when I have water gun in the first place, so. Light years doesn't measure time, it measures distance! Good, you went to school. This here's the gym leader, however, my Squirtle's kinda weak, so I'm gonna go heal. Okay, the team is fully revitalized. Let's take on Brock, the Pewter City Gym leader and master of the Rock-type Pokemon. So you're here. I'm Brock. I'm Pewter City's gym leader. My rock-hard willpower is evident even in my Pokemon. My Pokemon are all rock-hard and have true grit determination. That's right, my Pokemon are all the Rock-type. Yeah, I totally didn't see that coming. Fwahaha. Foo-ha-ha? I'll still never understand what kind of laugh is foo-ha-ha. Whatever. Anyway, you're going to challenge me knowing that you'll lose? Well, if I had a Charmander, it was a possibility, but I'm sure I would have a Mankey, so. That's the trainer's honor that compels you to battle me. Fine then, show me your best. Okay, here we go. This is Brock, the Pewter City Gym leader. Starting out here with Geodude. Geodude, not that much of a threat. If you have a water or grass type, send out your Squirtle, use Water Gun, or Bulbasaur, just use Vine Whip, which I'm sure you have at this point, and you'll one-shot this thing. Kind of pathetic. Ah, so close to a level up. His final Pokemon here is Onix. Onix is a rock ground type, just like Geodude, at level 14, so I may not one-hit KO this thing. In first generation, this thing was a jerk, because Bind was a move that hit over and over again and would not allow your Pokemon to be switched out or attack. However, that was fixed in second generation, and obviously since this is third, it was fixed here too. So yeah, this fight was completely broken in first gen and could sometimes pose a challenge, which I am assuming why everybody thought that the first battle in Pokemon Yellow was so horrible, because all you had was a Pikachu which couldn't do anything. I guess you could get a Mankey, but whatever. I took you for granted, and so I lost. As proof of your victory, I confer on you this official Pokemon League Boulder Badge. And this is the only badge we get in the game that is actually on the main battle screen. Having that Boulder Badge makes your Pokemon more powerful. It also enables you to use the move Flash outside of battle, which is an HM. Flash we will get into much later. Of course, a Pokemon must know the move Flash to use it. Well, no duh. I could have figured that out. Wait, take this with you. And he gives you TM39. All the gym leaders give you a TM to use on your Pokemon after they are beaten. TMs can teach Pokemon moves, like different moves. However, be very picky about your TMs and who to use them on, because you can only use a TM once. That's it. Unless you're playing the 5th generation games, Black and White, where TMs are now infinite use. Anyway, TM39 contains Rock Tomb, a rock-type move that lowers speed. So it's quite nice. I believe in the original games he gave you TM14 Bind, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to do here in Pewter City. I think I might take a quick detour to the shop and see what they have to sell me. Well, they got a bunch of Pokeballs, which I'll need. I'm gonna buy about 5 of those. And they have Repels! Yes, these are very nice. Repels, what they do is that, they keep, wild Pokemon away from you for 100 steps. However, this only applies to Pokemon that are weaker than your top level Pokemon. So, say I have Squirtle out in front, and I use a Repel. Pokemon level 13 and under will stay away from me. However, Pokemon level 14 and up I'll still run into. So, that's quite nice. I would have preferred getting all the Pokeballs, but considering this is an LP, I'm going to need to get through Mount Moon quite quickly, because that's actually where we're heading. There's the Garden Dude. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else we could do here. What about this house? Nidoran, sit! Okay. Our Pokemon's an outsider, so it's finicky and hard to handle. An outsider is a Pokemon that you get in a trade. It grows fast, but it may ignore an unskilled trainer in battle. If only we had a badge. Basically what he said in a nutshell is that when you get a Pokemon over a trade, which means a traded Pokemon is a Pokemon that you didn't catch, someone else had to have gotten it on a different game file, they will trade it to you, and it will gain a lot more experience than Pokemon that you catch. However, they have the tendency to ignore you in battle. So you tell it to use Tackle, but it uses Water Gun. So they can be mischievous. However, if you get badges, like we have, they will start to obey you more. If you get all 8 badges, all Pokemon up to level 100 will obey you, which is basically every Pokemon in the game. At this point, I believe Pokemon up to level 10 or 20 will obey us, so I don't remember. It's either 10 or 20. What the? Oh, Hikaru! I'm glad I caught up to you. I'm Professor Oak's aide. I've been asked to deliver this, so here you go, and this is going to be our saving grace for this LP. We will never have to walk that slow ever again, because we got running shoes from our virtual mother, who isn't completely odd after all from getting her parenting skills from TV. Bye-bye! Yeah, see you later, Mr. Aid person. There's a letter attached, and it's from our mom. Remember, I'll always cheer for you. Keep on blah, 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 blah. Okay, and as you can see, I'm holding down B, and I'm running, which is quite nice. So, this is basically how fast we are going to move now in this game. And, yeah, it's going to be quite nice. Either way, I think that's going to do it for this part. So, in next episode, we're going to tackle, the majority of these trainers here on Route 3. I may take on the optional trainers. Or, actually, I may take on the majority of these trainers off screen so we can just plow through Route 3. Because none of these battles are that exciting. I may leave some funny battles because there is some kid that just kind of has something funny to say on this route. But either way, like I said, that's going to do it for this part. So if you like this episode, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll have more Pokemon Leaf Green coming at you next Monday. So take care, guys. Have a great weekend, great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.